Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Changemakers21. I'm here with a very special guest, and she's very special because I've known her for about 30 years. I've known her family, but through the years, we lost track of each other a little bit. And then when social media started coming on, I began to follow her and knew she was doing some amazing things in San Diego. But when actually her sister nominated her as a Changemaker21 honoree, and I connected with Angie earlier today, and she's doing some amazing things. So this is Angela Brannon-Baptiste, and I would like to welcome you as a Changemaker21 and invite you to share a little bit of your background and what you do.
Well, hi, and thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see you again. Of course, Facebook has brought us back together, but this is such an amazing opportunity. So thank you so much for inviting me. I am the co-founder and president of the board of It's All About the Kids Foundation. We started about 17 years ago by basically helping other charities do things they couldn't do. So we did all kinds of things like buy uniforms for kids. I did a lot of mentoring. I mentored high school homeless teenagers. And so that was an amazing process going through that. And then in 2017, we decided to focus on food. We realized that we were doing too many things. And my mentor told me to pick one thing and do really, really good at it. And so we decided on food. My background was I had worked for USDA and both the state of New Hampshire and the state of California in food programs. So I tucked all that away in my head because I did that right after you and I worked together, and then went to work for myself in private business. And then I started my charity back 17 years ago. So when we decided on food, we just started small, wanted to make sure that it worked, made a wonderful partnership with the San Diego Food Bank. And we started to take bags of food to a local school, the King Chavez Primary School. We'd given them bicycles before, so they liked us already. And we went to the principals and said, can we give fresh produce and non-perishable food to your families when they pick them up from the 6 to 6 program? And they said, sure. When they come to get the kids, give the food away. It started small with 30 families our first week. And within 4 months, we were at 150 families.
Wow.
With an average of 5 people per family. That's a lot.
Yes.
We were growing steadily with a meal is a pound of food. So we went from, a small U-Haul truck to a bigger U-Haul truck. And then we moved into our own pantry. That was in 2018. And the numbers increased. By the time we got into 2019, we were over 1,000. And then right before COVID hit, we were at 1,000, almost 1,400 families were coming to see us every single month.
That's amazing.
But then COVID hit.
Sure.
And everything accelerated, I should say. We were asked to continue our food distributions, but yet we went outside into a drive-through and a walk-up, in which we went very quickly to 1,000 families in one day, with 400 to 500 cars and hundreds of people walking up to receive food from us. So then we made a partnership with Feeding San Diego, and we started receiving 2 semi-trucks in one day. So we're talking, 2 semi-trucks, between 40 to 60,000 pounds of food that we and a team of amazing volunteers, we would pack into bags, and then we would distribute the same day. It was long, it was hard, it was amazing. So just to put it in perspective, from September of 2017 until April of 2020, we did 1 million meals. But from April 2020 to April 2021, we did 2 million meals.
Oh my gosh. So it's easy to see why you were nominated as an honoree for a Changemaker, but also what inspired me when I heard your story and what inspired us to nominate you as a Changemaker is you've had so many challenges along the way. So in order to do what you do, I'm just guessing you had to have a deep inspiration, a deep love or commitment or vision to what you're doing. What was your inspiration behind this? Why did you start this?
After when I was a little kid, of course, my mom taught us empathy and always had us involved in doing things for the community and charity
Mhm.
work. And then I went to work for the government after college and learned how to run a food program, but not exactly how to serve people. So I really, I went to work for other companies and I worked in the corporate world, and I kept trying to get the corporate world to do good things, and it was really hard then. It wasn't popular back then.
Right.
And so I finally just quit my job and said, this is what I want to do. I want to help kids. This is in me, because every time I work for someone else, I go back to having
Yeah.
parties and doing things for kids. And I just love doing it. So my inspiration was actually the children. I knew that if I put
Mm.
all my talents together and everything I'd ever learned, and then a great network of people that I had built through my businesses and through having parties and fundraisers, that I knew that I could succeed. And it's been quite a journey. It's been a struggle. It's been fantastic.
What have been a couple of your biggest challenges that you faced?
Over the 17 years, the biggest challenge has been the economy. When
Right.
the economy has crashed or gone in not done nice things to people over the years, it took its toll on charities. Also, fraud took its toll on charities.
Mm.
When the big charity does something really bad,
Right.
smaller charities, people overlook us because they turn their faces away from wanting to donate to charity. So those have been struggles. The last year has been the hardest year that we have ever worked as a charity, the most we have ever done.
Sure.
And we've had to move 4 times because we had so many people come to see us that we had to get bigger and bigger, but getting bigger brought more problems
Yeah.
with traffic,
I mean,
police,
just moving
the
4
city.
times, that's quite an accomplishment that you continue to, persevere and go forward. When
Well,
you think back, Angie, what would you say is like one of your biggest successes that you're most proud of?
um, it's hard to pick one,
Sure.
um, because there's been many, especially with the success of the homeless teens that I got the
Mhm.
opportunity and the honor to mentor when they've gone off. One has his doctorate. I have a few that have gotten their master's degrees. Um, very very successful. Many are married with children. That to me is one of my best success stories. But I
That's
also
great.
think that the creation of our solar pantry is one of the most amazing things, other than when you hit 1 million meals and then 2 million and then 3 million. That was amazing.
Sure.
But the creation of the solar pantry. So when we were with our little pantry that we had, that we would see a couple hundred people a day. Now understand, there's a couple hundred families. So
Yeah.
they bring the kids and grandma, abuela, etc. So we would have thousands of people come and see us. And so we had no storage. So it would get pretty tricky and kind of scary at the end of the food distribution. Would we have enough? Do we know how many people are coming? We have a text message program, but we still didn't know exactly how many people were going to come.
Right.
So I love shipping containers and I am a problem solver. So I decided, wait, what if we took made it a solar pantry, took a shipping container and put solar on the roof and refrigerated it, because then I wouldn't need to pay the electricity bill, because it's very expensive to pay the electricity bill on a huge refrigerator or a freezer of any kind. And as a charity, we can't afford those things. So I called my friends at the IBEW 569, the Electrical Workers Union. There are a couple of females called the United Sparkies, and they got together, all the Electrical Workers Union women, and started an organization, and they helped us build it. With the help of Steve Stepp and some other amazing people. We worked with 3 unions, the Iron Workers Union, as well as the Insulation Workers Union. And now we have a 20-foot shipping container that on one side is a roll-up door and it's dry, and that's 1/4 of the container. And then 3/4 of it is insulated and refrigerated, and it actually can go to freezing. And
That's
it's powered
amazing.
by the solar panels on the roof.
Yeah,
So not only can you store food inside of it, but you can distribute out of it in case you don't have any, a brick and mortar, for example, if you don't have your own pantry. But it enables us to continue to get fresh fruits and vegetables to the children, because that's what we do. We feed kids, and we do as much fresh fruits and vegetables as we can, because we know that's number one, very expensive. And number
Right.
two, hard for the kids and that live in the food deserts to get the food.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are really creative to, take a problem like that and then assemble a group of people and come up with a solution. So, I'm like so impressed about your organization. I invite everybody to check it out further. But I want to ask you one other question before we leave. And that is, there's a lot of people watching this evening that probably want to do something in their community. They perhaps have an inspiration the same way that you did, but like, how do you start and how do you deal with the challenges? So what advice would you have to anybody out there that has a bit of a dream, a bit of a passion about improving their community, but doesn't really know what the next step is?
I'm asked that question. I actually coach charities and also people on how to start a charity. And I tell them, first of all, don't start your own charity. It is really, really hard, as you well know. It takes tons of resources. I think for most people, what I suggest is whatever your passion is, there's lots of fantastic charities out there. So date them, okay? So pick your favorite 3 or 4 and go and volunteer for them and see how they run their organization and see how their mission is maybe similar to your mission. So then what you do is you become asked to become part of their charity by either becoming a board member, becoming a volunteer, work your way up the food chain in that charity. Because if people come to me, which they do, and say, we want to help you, but we want to come and we want to volunteer, those are the best kind of people that we need, and they can help steer me. So we've had board members that say, yes, we want to come and sit on your board. Now I've got help, solid help, because us, small and middle range charities who do amazingly big things, we need a strong board of directors, but we also need a strong team of volunteers. And also peer-to-peer fundraising is done with volunteers and people who believe in you. So my advice is find the charity that is equal to what your passion is.
That's
and then
great advice.
Help them.
That's great.
We always need help, and you don't have to do it by yourself.
Right.
Because
So
it's
join
really,
a team.
really hard. Yeah.
Join a team. Well, Angie, thank you so much for joining us. And it was so great to connect with you. And I know now that we're reconnected, we'll be continuing this journey together. I wish you and your organization much success. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you so much, because I am so honored to be chosen and to be part of this organization. And oh yeah, you're stuck with me now. You're not going to be able to get rid of me now for sure, because we're happy to be part of the family. And thank you again so much. And of course, congratulations to all the other nominees. And thank you to everyone who's watching. I think that it's wonderful that they care and they want to watch and see what's going on in the world. So thank you.
Thank you.